Welcome to TPM's 3-Minute Thursdays. Today we're going to look at some tips for working with sketches. While we all know that we should keep our sketches as simple as possible, we know that in certain situations, sketches tend to get a little bit more complex. So today I'm going to show you a handful of tips to help work with those more complex sketches and to help speed up your efficiency regardless of what type of sketch you're working with. The first tip we're going to look at is under Options, Sketch, to turn on enabling the ability to put in dimensional values and enter those dimensions on the fly as you're creating your sketch entities. And the other portion of that is creating dimensions only when values are entered. So this gives you maximum flexibility. Let's see how that works. So when I go to start sketching, if I type in a dimensional value, I'm going to get my sketch entity along with a smart dimension that controls it. Now, in the same sketch, in the same tool, just continuing on, entering in, creating some more circles here. Again, typing in a value, I'm going to end up with a dimension. Or if I just want to size things up and I don't necessarily know the dimensional value, I can just click to place that sketch entity, no dimension gets placed. Again, that gives you maximum flexibility. The next little trick is as I'm sketching line contours, sometimes you don't want to get a relation, and notice as you move around you're getting these automatic relations, and sometimes that can be annoying. So you can hold down the Control key and that will block the software from suggesting those relations. Another trick is when you're creating lines and you're in a single contour here by doing the single click method. If you want to end that contour and stay in the line command, you can double click out in space. So I'm still in the line command and now I can sketch a separated segment somewhere else. You may notice as you're sketching with lines there's some options off to the left hand side here. Things like for construction, same as if we chose a center line, but there's also some additional options here like vertical and infinite length. Great tool for sketching out some center lines within your sketches if you need symmetry. And the last little tip with this segment is when I go to place my dimensions, if I choose a center line as one of those entities, notice I can place it on the left side or the right side here, and it'll either switch between a radial type dimension or a diameter type dimension. So it'll give you the overall distance there. It's a nice tool to utilize. Next we'll take a look at the trim tool. When using trim, the power trim has the ability to both trim away material and extend. So first we'll take a look at the extend capability. If you single click on a segment, you can then single click somewhere else to extend. You can also click on another entity to extend up to and create a relation. This also gives you the ability to add, or if I wanted to go back here, make it a little easier to trim instead of trimming away multiple segments, now I've got just a single region to trim away. So several different advantages to utilizing this technique. And for the more traditional way of utilizing the tool, just single click and hold and drag, and anything that you swipe over will disappear. If you keep holding down the mouse button, if you accidentally drag over something, you can come right back over top of that red box to make things reappear. Next is the fully defined sketch command. So whenever I'm looking for something using the S key and I don't find it, just start typing the word and I can search and see where those commands are located. So fully defined sketch is located directly under display delete relations. And fully defined sketch allows you to add any dimensions or relations to your sketch to make sure that you end up with a fully defined sketch. You can specify the dimensioning scheme that you want to use, the datums where you want to bring the dimensions off of, and then just change the dimensional values to the exact ones that you want to use. And lastly, we'll take a look at a few tricks to work with a sketch that may need to be done at a different orientation. So if I wanted to draw a triangle and have that rotated to a specific orientation, sometimes it's easier to just start out with the normal sketch orientation and then move and rotate things around. So let's take a look at a couple of tricks here. As I'm sketching out, I can use auto transitioning to switch between a line and an arc just by hovering over top of the end point of a line segment. Notice once I finish that up, it switches back over to an arc or to a line. And then we'll switch back over. Use some auto transitioning. A couple of additional tips here. Clicking on a vertex now allows you to create your relations quickly. Clicking on a segment, you can use the shortcut to switch it over to construction geometry. So when I try to move things around, it doesn't always give me the result that I'm looking for. So to move entire portions of a sketch, you can drag a box around them, hold the control key and drag. If I release now, it will create a copy, but if I release the control key and then release the mouse button, it will move those entities around, similar to Move Entities. But another tool that I really like using is the Modify Sketch tool. You can also drag and drop a shortcut onto your sketch toolbar. So Modify Sketch, when I use the left mouse button, it'll translate. When I use the right mouse button, it'll rotate the entire sketch. So it doesn't allow you to grab just a portion of the sketch, but it does the entire sketch. It'll also allow you to adjust scale factors. Okay, so a couple of great things about the Modify Sketch tool. The last thing is, once it's rotated around, if I now look normal to the sketch orientation, it actually updates the orientation, not following the system coordinate system. So now if I do a horizontal or a vertical line, it's actually modified that within the sketch. So pretty slick. So hopefully you've enjoyed some of these tips and tricks to work with sketches. Thanks for watching TPM's 3 Minute Thursday.